Today is going to be a super fun day because we're moving some fish around. From this tank to that tank right there, the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀𝗀, resplendens, which are one of my favorite smaller type fish. Nano fish? Well, they're not really nano, but like smaller type fish. 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝘀 type or Daniel type. I'm not too sure what they actually are. Their common name is called the Asian rummy-nosed 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀, but I'm not sure if they're really a 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀 type. I was reading a bit on the internet. Some suggest that they're not a 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀 and more a Daniel, and some say they're not Daniel. I'm not too sure exactly, but we'll just call them the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀 resplendens. I'll put the name here so that you guys can see how it's spelt. But they are one of my absolute favorite smaller type fish because they're just so beautiful. It's not the color you always get to see. You see that male right there? The blue with the red face and the red tail. Absolutely beautiful. Let me try to focus on them better, but I've got a bunch of them in this tank. I think I should have around 8. Around 8, maybe 10. I'm not sure. We'll count later when we move them, but the males are this beautiful blue color with a red face and the red stripes on the tails. Well, the females, they don't have much color. They're just like an olive grayish color. They're still nice. I really like the females because I want to breed them in the future. And this tank that we set up the other day is going to be a tank just for them. We're going to have only 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀 resplendens in this tank. And if they breed in this tank, that'll be a bonus. But I'm going to keep this tank just for them. And I'm going to set up another tank, one of these 10 gallons or 45 centimeter tanks. I'm going to set one up just to try and breed them in the future. But for today, I just want them to have a bigger home. This is a 2-foot tank, about 15 gallons, I suppose, 60 centimeters by 30 by 36 centimeters. And what they're going into is 60 centimeters by 45 by 45 centimeters. So much larger tank, and I think they're going to be happy in there. And right now, this tank is still very sparsely planted. The plants in here are going to take a while to grow. We're not using the strongest light on here. This is just a very old school light with a tube. You can see a Panasonic tube in there. It's very, very weak, but oh my goodness, what am I doing? I don't want to break this thing. But yeah, I just really like the look of it, and I wanted to have one in the fish room, and I might do another set of it down there just to have these two matching. And the filter is also the old school, well, I don't know if it's an old school filter, but it's the hang on the top over box filter. I have no idea what it's called. I used to call it the OHF filtration, the overhead filtration system. So yeah, these two tanks I'm gonna try to match and get them looking the same, but with different fish. I'm not sure what I'm going to keep in there in the future, but for here, currently, I've got 2 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀, resplendens, a male and a female right now. You can see I've been testing them out, seeing if they'll do alright in this tank, and they've been in here for a couple of days. You can see the male right here, and the female, we just saw it. The female is at the back right there. Yeah, and then we've got 2 guppies, a pair of guppies that I'm going to take out right now. So, let's get started with this. I'm gonna go ahead, take the guppies out, and then we'll slowly transfer these guys over into this tank. Let's see. Ah, perfect. We got both of them at the same time. We are going to put these guys, this pair, with the rest of the koi tuxedo guppies. We've got 2 tanks of them. I've really got to make this one tank. And I'm thinking of lowering the amount of koi tuxedo guppies that I have. I'm not sure. I'm just not having that much fun with these guys. I know it sounds kind of bad, but you can see they are producing lots of fry. So I haven't shown these guys much on YouTube, and I really, really love them. Look how colorful this is. And I started off with just 1 pair, and I got this many guppies. Love the colors. You can see this is a very old female. I think it's one of my first ones. I don't think it's the female that I started with, but it's like way in there. It's got to be 2 years old at least. But so you can see it is kind of weak, but all the others, they're really, really healthy. And I've been thinking of maybe like getting rid of all of them, but I feel like getting rid of all of them would be a mistake because I might regret it in the future. So let me know in the comments what you would do. Maybe I'll set up a tank, just one tank with lots of plants, and just keep some guppies in there and cull out the bad ones and try to just keep a good line going. So maybe that's what I'll do in the future, but I really want to open these two tanks up so that I can breed some fish that I'm really passionate about, like the rainbow fish. These are the 𝗂𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝘀 rainbow fish, and these are wild. So the wild rainbow fish, the tank is a little bit dirty right now, but I am breeding quite a bunch of these. You can see this small one right there, I've mentioned quite a few times in previous videos, but that guy is one that I raised. It's the very first one that I managed to succeed with. The first batch of eggs, I only had one survivor, and it's that guy. And then the next batch, you can see, much better. Still not the best. There's about 15 to 20 of them in this tank, and you can see they're still really small, but they're growing up really nicely in that tank. And then I just recently got some of these guys right here. These are Pseudomoogil_luminatus, if I'm not mistaken. In Japan we call them the Pseudomoogil_𝗀𝘀𝘀𝗀𝘀, but I'm guessing it's the luminatus, the red neon rainbow fish, or the blue eye dwarf rainbow fish. I'm not so sure. There's so many names for them, but you can see how beautiful they are. And I haven't even had them for a week, and I checked them up yesterday and there were eggs in them, so that is amazing. I'm gonna definitely try to breed these guys as well. And then up above, I haven't shown these guys as well, but these are some of my baby angelfish. Manuka Peru red shoulder angelfish that I've been raising up, and it's always so hard to focus on those guys. And I've got a bunch more in this tank right here. So yeah, I'm still not the best at raising baby fish up. I am feeding them baby brine shrimp, but it is kind of challenging to feed them multiple times a day. So you can see my hatch rate isn't the best. I don't have a ton of them swimming around, but yeah, I'm still working on it, still practicing. And then these guys right here are the two pairs that I've got. And I really need a light for this tank. For this whole rack, actually, I need to put a light, and that's why I've got this. This thing just delivered to me today. The LED light from Amazon is like $15, so yeah, I'm gonna get a bunch more of those and try to stick them up. Try to make this place look nicer. It's this type of light right here. This is a DIY thing that I made out of, what do you call this? Like a drain pipe or something. You know when you build houses, you have those drain pipes on the roofs and stuff? That is what this thing is, for water to drain down when it rains. But yeah, so that's the DIY light. Maybe I'll make a video on how I make those in the future. But now, since this tank is now free of guppies, let's add the rest of the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝘀 resplendens in. Alright, so I've decided I'm going to drip acclimate these guys because I just checked the pH of these two tanks and they're pretty different. The tank that we're going to add the fish in, the pH is quite high, a little bit higher than this tank right here, and I think it's the substrate. This is a soil substrate, so that tends to lower the pH down, whereas this tank is a gravel that tends to raise the pH up. Not all types of gravel raises the pH up, but the type of gravel that I have tends to do that. So there's the first one. The female swam straight into the net. Okay, I got a beautiful male right here. There's one male in this tank that doesn't look too good, and I think it's just old age. I've had these guys for close to 3 years. I think, has it been 3 years? I think some of these guys are really old. I've added some along the way, so we do have some young fish as well. Alright, drip acclimation happening right now. I'm probably going to let it drip for about 30 to 45 minutes, and then we'll add them into the tank. Look at all the males. They're so funny looking with their red faces. Alright, let's get these 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝘀 resplendens into their new home. Here's a good bunch of them. Okay, I think they might be a little bit stressed, but they will show better color later. These guys are surprisingly easy to catch out. Perfect. So I'm gonna let these guys relax a little bit, turn the lights off so that they can just calm down and not be so stressed out. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. So let's jump. Here we are, the next day. The fish, the 𝗲𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀, resplendens, they're still skittish. And that's normal, I guess. These guys are a little bit on the skittish side, but right now they're kind of all out, so I'm gonna try to do this quietly. You can kind of see a group of them. Wow. Wow, so good. Right now that it's on camera, you'd expect them to be all hiding, and they were hiding until now. Wow, this is amazing. Okay, and now they've kind of gone back, but they've been behind these two rocks the entire time, and I understand. They are scared. There's not that many plants yet, and once this tank just fills in with all the plants, they're gonna feel much more comfortable and start swimming outside. But I bet you if I add some food in here, they'll come out a little bit more. So let's go and do that right now. But first, let me turn the light off because the glare is kind of bad of this tank. So we'll open up the 𝗲𝘾𝘃𝘀𝘀 app, and WRGB2 Pro 60 is the light we're using. I'll go to manual and turn it completely off. Perfect. And don't worry about the plants. There aren't any fish in here. The plants I'm going to move out later into one of those tanks over there. And I still have 2 more tanks that I need to set up on the bottom there. So I think that giant Anubias that's in here is going to go in one of the new tanks. And we have this plant. This plant I love so much. This is the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀, and you can see how nice it's grown. No CO2 and very low lighting. And it's been growing really nicely. And this is my golden Wonderchili tank. Look how beautiful they are. Yeah, I've got a trio in there. But yeah, let's get back to this tank. So now that there's less glare, there's still a little bit of glare from the tanks behind. Man, that's kind of annoying. These 2 tanks right here. But I think it's okay. You'll be able to see the 𝗲𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀 resplendens eating just fine. So I think we'll put some baby brine shrimp in to start with, and then maybe we'll go for some pellets. Let's see if they'll eat the baby brine shrimp. Happy that we got the fish into their new tank. Now we can kind of empty this one out and I can get it ready for the next scape. But there's so many things I need to get done in this fish room. There's so many projects to come, and it's kind of overwhelming. I don't know what to do first and like what order. I don't know what order I need to do things, and it's kind of challenging because I kind of want to do things in the right order, and if I don't, then I feel like I've messed up. But yeah, there's still a lot of things we need to do. So first, remember we've got this tank that we're going to do the Dutch style in. It's going to be a planted tank with a bunch of stem plants, colorful plants in this tank. It's going to be a maintenance nightmare, but I'm really excited to get it started. So I'm not sure whether that's going to come first. I've still got this tank to do. I think tomorrow or the day after I'm getting another one of these tanks, 90 centimeter 3-foot tank, and we're going to be putting it right there. And all these plants that are just floating in there, as well as these Java ferns in here, and some of the plants in here, like those Java ferns and stuff, I'll be moving into that tank that will be coming. And it'll just be like a stock tank, organized tank, where I can put all my extra plants and extra fish that I'm not currently using in any of the scapes. So yeah, that will be for that. It'll be a really important tank. It doesn't sound like a very important tank, but it's going to be important for me because I'll have a place to put all my extra stuff. And right now, you can kind of see like all my extra plants right here is a mess, and I really hate the look of this. And all the fish that I don't have in a dedicated tank, it's kind of a mess, so I kind of want to organize all this stuff. Like I've got 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀 in here just floating around. I've got some Anubias. I've got more Anubias in the back, which is really hard to see, but yeah, it's just a total mess that we need to organize. Then we've got this tank that needs to be set up. We've got to do something for the angelfish, and I mentioned that the angelfish will be getting their own tank right here. We'll have one tank just for the wild silver angelfish, and then we'll have one tank on the bottom just for the Manuka Peru angelfish. We've got 4 here, 2 pairs. I think the pairs will stay in this tank for now because I want to get more babies out of them. But in my IAPLC contest tank, which is behind the tank, you can kind of see the 2 lights over there. I'll give you a sneak peek. But yeah, in that tank, we've got 5 more of these Manuka Peru angelfish. So I want a tank just for them as well. So that has to be done as well. I'm not so sure when that will happen. And then we've got this tank, of course, the African cichlid aquascape that I need to finish up. So I'm going to finish up the scape with this tank, fill in, put all the sand in. I've already got all my supplies here, the sand, my filter, the filter pipes, the light as well. I've already got everything, so I need to get that done as well. There's so many things to do in this fish room. It's really overwhelming. So let me know in the comments below, like, what you would do next. What's the next tank that you would set up if you were me? I know it's kind of weird, but yeah, let me know what you would do. But as always, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to give a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, comment something down below. I can't wait for this tank to develop even more. Once it starts getting greener and these fish start coming out more, they're already out. I think the first feeding is really important because now they know that I'll give them food in this tank and they're gonna come out more. So you can see them, they're not that scared anymore. That's awesome. Great, great news. I'll see you guys next time.